Hey everybody, ABC 10 meteorologist Brendan Minchef here. It's a new week, time for another look at the drought monitor. The drought monitor has not changed at all since the last time we did this. Still 44% of the state in the severe drought category. That is that darker orange color there. 28% of the state in the extreme drought category. That does include Sacramento. 13% of the state in the exceptional drought category. Still most of the San Joaquin Valley. Now, I know we've got some rain towards the end of this week. It's raining this weekend as well. And then we've got more rain in the forecast ahead. The drought update stops taking in data Tuesday morning. So all the rain and snow that happened Thursday, even some on Friday, some on Saturday, Sunday, and what will linger into Monday and Tuesday of this week as well, won't be counted on this drought update. So it's not here yet. We'll see that on the next drought update that'll come out next weekend. So don't be alarmed. I know we got some rain. It is not reflected on the map just yet, just the way the data works. But the good news is, looking at the rain that we've seen, so this is now updated for this time of the recording. We've seen a lot of rain so far this month. Almost 2 inches of rain so far. Our average to date is only 3/10. That means we are way above our normal through this part of the month. Of course, December has just started, right? Today is the 4th day of the month as of this recording. So it's still very early, of course, in the month of December. But we are starting it off well, way above average. The total so far on the water year, which started on October 1st, is almost 3 inches. The average is 2.8. That means we are slightly above normal for our water year. This is good news. Long, long way to go in the water year, which runs until September 30th. But us being 1/10 of an inch ahead is good news. That's what we want to see. And hopefully we can continue to stay above average as we go through the winter. It's not just us, though. There are some other areas of the state that have also gotten above average amount of rainfall through this time of the year. This is our statewide total so far. 2.34 inches in South Lake Tahoe, 2.64 in Stockton, 2.08 in Fresno, less than an inch in Bakersfield, but LA sitting at about 2 inches, San Diego about an inch. When we look at our departure from normals here, you can see Sacramento about 1/10 of an inch above normal through this point in the year. Stockton higher than that, over 3/10 above. Fresno, 1/2 inch above. This is good news. Los Angeles, also over 1/2 inch above. Not everywhere is above average, though. San Francisco, about 1/4 inch below. Redding, almost 3 inches below. South Lake Tahoe, about 1.5 inches below. So there's still work to do, and not everybody is above average. But the good news is the valley is right now, and honestly, we'll just start there for the water year. Again, very early in the water year, only about 2 months through of 12, obviously. So as we look at the drought busting meter, this is an average of 8 stations in the Sierra. We're up to about 7.5 inches on the current water year. Again, this is in the Sierra. Average is about 53 inches. If we want to bust the drought, that's taking into account how far behind we have been over the last few years, and then this year taken into account as well. The drought bust number is about 114.1 inches, so we're only 6.5% of the way there in terms of busting the drought. Of course, we'd like to make a lot more ground on this. We'll see what we can do by the end of the year. But the record water year, the wettest water year we've ever had, 2016 to 17, that was about 95 inches. So if we want to hope to bust the drought, we're going to need a record water year. And again, we are in a La Nina winter, which seems unlikely. But as we look at our average monthly rainfall, you can see October less than an inch, November about 1.5 inches, December now a lot more than that. On average, we see almost 3.5 inches of rain in December, a little bit more in January, very similar in February. And then it starts really going down March, April. So we are moving into the wettest part of the year for us here in Northern California. So it's good that we're starting to see those numbers come up because that's what we want to see. Now, I mentioned there's more rain in the forecast as we look at the next 10 days. Again, today is Sunday as of this recording. So the next 10 days from Sunday, December 4th, that rain chance for Monday, then another storm arrives towards the end of the work week, then another one after that as well. So the fact is there's a lot of rain icons over the course of the next 10 days. This is good news. If we want to make improvements on the drought, it can't just be 1 or 2 storms. It has to be really several storms consecutively over the course of the winter. And this is, again, a good start. As we look at the snowpack, Northern Sierra is about 124% above average for this point in the year. Central Sierra, 140%. Southern Sierra, 175%. So statewide, taking that statewide look now, 140% above average for our Sierra snowpack as of December 2nd. That's equivalent to about 4.6 inches of water. This is good. Again, this is all helpful for drought, but something else that we use snow for is skiing, right? A lot of folks like to go up and ski. People travel to California to go skiing in the Sierra. I mean, obviously, Tahoe, a big tourist destination as well. People want to see the snow. They want to go experience snow sports, and skiing as well is a big part of that. So we actually were wondering, with a warming climate and more volatility and snowfall, shrinking snow season, how is this impacting ski resorts? How is the drought? How is climate change impacting the winters in California? Of course, we've looked at it from a drought perspective, but what about it from a winter sport perspective? Well, take a look.
I think the number one thing has been variability and volatility. That each season we come into, you really don't know what you're going to get.
That's Michael Reitzel with Ski California. Ski California represents 35 ski resorts across California and Nevada and helps deal with issues facing multiple ski resorts. One of those, climate change. A warming climate changes when, where, and how snow falls.
It's actually been somewhat variable in that way. I mean, I don't think that's changed a whole lot. I think we've always noticed that in California, we do get a pretty big range of the quality of the snow in terms of water content versus something that is fluffy and dry. Um, I feel like that's been pretty, I don't know, I'd have to look at some very specific numbers. It feels like that's been really volatile.
Many ski resorts make artificial snow, and that can help offset the monthly and yearly variability in natural snowfall. But you still need cold temps and good snowmaking conditions in order to make the artificial stuff.
Resorts follow a fairly similar pattern in terms of making snow. You test things out in October to make sure your systems are ready to go. And then as soon as temperatures are right, they're going to turn them on. And so, this year that worked out pretty well because most of November was pretty good in terms of making snow. And like I said, last year, I think they probably tested them out, turned them on in October, and then in November it was real tough. I mean, I think if I recall, there was a lot of inversion layers going on in November where, you'd be down, 5,000 feet and it was freezing, and you go up a couple thousand, you're like, wait a second, it's 36, 37 degrees. What's going on here? So it really is that volatility, I think, that creates those challenges. But I mean, our folks are really good at what they do. So they know when to make snow, they know when they can't, and they just let that dictate when the season begins. Last year, some resorts opened in October and had to actually close, which was pretty unique to open and then close early in the season. That doesn't typically happen. And then didn't get open again until December. And then, of course, things really took off from there. But yeah, that's that volatility that we're talking about. But I think they're very prepared for that volatility as well, even if it's not ideal.
We're pretty fortunate up here. We sit so high in elevation that when we do get snow, it adds up pretty quick, and then it stays pretty cold up here, and so it hangs around for a while. We're also a smaller resort, so we don't have a ton of terrain that we need to cover, and so with the smaller terrain that we have to cover and the snow that we get, we're pretty fortunate that we haven't noticed it too much.
Davis Bedient with Donner Ski Ranch has lived most of his life in the Tahoe region. He knows how important snowfall, good quality snowfall, is for Sierra skiing.
We do rely 100% on natural snowfall. And so it has changed that, I think, in years past where we've been waiting a little bit to get some snow. It's had an effect. We might not have as much snow as we're looking for, but I mean, this year's been incredible. We've opened earlier than we opened in November, early mid-November, and we've been able to stay open every single weekend.
But life at 7,031 feet, where Donner Ski Ranch base is, that offers you some protection against a warming climate. Elevation matters when talking about snow.
Yeah, I think the lower you are, certainly the more concern there is. But you look at a place like Palisades, Tahoe, I think they probably have one of the lower elevations to start with at 6,200 feet, but they also go up to close to 9,000. So you have that upper mountain that you can work with, pretty similar to Heavenly as well, right down to lake level. But you've got a lot, further up the hill, and everyone has that ability to transport people further up the hill. So, I think it's, the ski industry is a bit of a take it year by year, and just, prepare for whatever you can prepare for.
Whatever the future may hold, Davis is sure of one thing.
If you're looking to get up here, now's the place to do it.